effective, and more secure. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let less be here for you.
Visit Zeranoni's Summer Warehouse Sale, Saturday, August 8th, 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. at Bountiful High School. Save up to 70% off luxury blankets, baby gifts, and more. Celebrate 20 years of comfort with Zeranoni.
Broadcasting live from the KSL Cars Studio. This is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, man, how you doing?
Welcome into the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, thank you for making us a part of your weekend, kicking things off. Things are picking up finally.
Absolutely. This week was fantastic in the sense that you have now Utah starting up their fall camp on Monday. You have, of course, Utah State, who started things up on Tuesday, and BYU, who started things up on Wednesday. So now all the three college football teams in the state of Utah are beginning their fall camps. It is football season. It is among us, and I'm so excited.
Well, and it's nice to actually have something to talk about. You know, the previous 2 weeks were just so dry. It was a desert. There was all this kind of just speculation and looking forward, and then LeBron signed with Philly, and that was the big news dump. And then outside of that, it's just been just nothing. Like,
yes,
can this get here already? Looking forward to this week, and now it's finally here.
Exactly.
So. Fun week, though. And it's football season, and that's great. You know, I'm already seeing on social media people are complaining about, oh, my cousin has a wedding on, week 2 of college football. Do I go to the wedding or not? And it's
the yearly battle.
He made his decision.
Exactly.
Now you make yours. You know what to do.
The yearly battle.
I have a wedding I'm going to in a few weeks, but it's like the week right before college football starts.
Oh, okay.
So I saw that, I got the invitation. I was like, oh no, that's going to be cutting it close. And then I looked up the schedule and I was like, okay, that's week 0. I think I can.
You have some leeway there.
I think I can swing that. Yeah,
you have some leeway there.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's wedding season. It's college football season. And then, of course, the Jazz are going to get going here in a few months as well. But football right around the corner. It really is the best time of the year, man. And especially, we kind of have brought this up before, but one of the things that's going to be so much fun with this season, as it was last year, BYU and Utah are going to be really good. You're looking at 2 teams that definitely have the talent. They have what it takes to potentially be in the Big 12 championship. They should be right around 10 wins each, right? So it's going to be another fun year. Last year was awesome. A lot of fun storylines. So we'll jump right into it today. And the structure of the show today, we're kind of going to do a BYU hour first and then a Utah hour second. Got a lot of good sound this week. We're going to hear from coaches and players. So let's go ahead and start with BYU. I want to start with Kalani Sitake. His media availability, as always, was great. He mentions a lot of great things. He brings up, of course, the big one, probably the biggest storyline of the season for the Cougs is how does K-Pop, Kelly Papinga, take over that defense as Jay Hill is now in Michigan, and what's that going to look like? So without further ado, here is Kalani Sitake on the opening day of BYU camp.
Accomplished today in day 1, Kalani?
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Obviously, I'm really excited for day 1. We definitely have a faster team, so I like the team speed, and then the connection. It's just good. You can see the continuity that we had from last year. It's rolling over, so the momentum on all 3 phases, even with some new guys there like Justin Enna with the special teams. Just really happy with what he's done, from January to now, and then K-Pop's done a great job with the defense, and so the transition's been really, really good going into fall camp. And I think looking at what A-Rod's done with the offense and having Tyler there with him at the quarterbacks, it's been really nice, and it's good to have some healthy guys back to go.
Talk about continuity. How much further ahead, I guess, overall do you feel like your team is?
Yeah, we're way further ahead than we were last year, and so that's a good sign. And even with the new guys that have come in, they just, you can't even tell that they're new anymore. In spring you can see getting used to different terminology. With guys like Cade, and it's hadn't been a problem. Those guys you can tell that the guys worked really hard in the off season. They worked really hard in the summer, and it's paid off a lot. And so practice 1, got to stay humble and stay hungry and just keep working hard. But we're going to utilize all the time that we have from now until game one. And with practice one out of the way, I can't wait to watch the film. I'm really excited about what we did today.
Where's the most heated competition in camp?
Most heated competition? They're all heated in this heat right now. But no, but it's we encourage everybody to compete for a spot and for playing time, and we feel like we need more than 11 starters on all three phases, and we feel good about our depth, and so we're just keep improving the depth. And these guys are fighting for reps and fighting for playing time, and that's we only play the best. That's what we do.
What's the potential for this offense with both LJ and Bareback?
Yeah, I mean, we're focused on winning games. Not really. That's the most important stat. So we'll do whatever it takes for all three phases to complement each other and put ourselves in position to get the victory. That's what we're focused on the most, and I think the stats will work out the way it's supposed to. But I like the versatility that we have in all three phases as well, and so it should be a lot of fun this year.
Barrett barely arrived this time last year going through training camp. How much different does he look this time?
It's what you would imagine. I mean, he's a veteran now, and he knows what he's doing. He's making corrections out there, and it's nice to see a guy that's been here, and have put in a lot of time, and so he's had a busy off-season, busy summer, and I'm just really proud of how he utilized all the time.
What's the level of confidence and comfort level like for him?
Yeah, I trust him, and I trust him and all the quarterbacks in that group because I trust who's coaching them, and we know that we don't have to rely on them to win games for us. They're capable of doing that. We can rely on all the positions.
Wanting a veteran head coach. This is another year. What's your favorite part of being a head coach?
Yeah, this is my 11th year, so I don't know if that's veteran or veteran mean old. Yeah, I feel old. I've aged quite a bit, but I'm loving it. That's just I feel really blessed and fortunate to be doing this, and so every day that I get to live this life, it's been a dream for me, and so I'm gonna do everything I can to help these young men and do what I can to represent for Cougar Nation, because I am a fan first when it all comes down to it.
I don't see Andrew Williams on the roster. Any update on him?
Andrew Williams has selected to go on a mission, and he just turned his papers in on Sunday. Really proud of him. He and I talked weeks ago, and it's been on his mind for a while, and I don't think he thought about serving a mission before, and now that he just asked if this is the right time. And the first thing is he didn't want to let the team down because he's a guy that can compete for playing time. But he was able to share his thoughts and bear his testimony on the gospel to me, and it seemed like the best field that he should be on is the mission field. And Coach Woods and everybody was really happy, excited for him, and we're just really proud of him. And so he had to defer his enrollment, and get his call soon, and we'll see where he's going to go. But Andrew will be elder for the next 2 years, and we're really proud of his decision to serve.
Staying with the roster personnel, is this the roster you're going to carry into the season? Because I know you were talking about kind of working parts.
There's still some moving parts on it. I think the closer we get to game one, when school starts, that's when it's got to be set. But there's still some guys that we still add to it.
With the injunction that's out there, have you given any thought to potentially adding guys that could come back?
That's been some thought, but we're really limited on the roster spots that we have. I think we have our guys that are set and that we've promised roster spots to, and so we're really just go on that first, and then there's just a bit weird timing for all that to happen, but we looked into it and saw the options and possibilities, but we have a responsibility to the people that are on the roster currently right now first.
Do you have any roster spots available on the 105? Because I know there's the DSA part, but
that's the one that's really difficult on the 105. Not a lot of flexibility right now, even with some of the openings that we had. We've already, you guys know, it's not like you're down a spot and then there's not anyone there. There's always a waiting list, and then there's kind of a wish list for every position coach, and so I have to listen to everybody and coordinators, and everyone make their pitch and who should be the next up, and that's the fun part about it, and so we'll just see what the team requires, and we don't have to make that decision just yet either, and we have to see how it's going to look with our depth and how things are looking, even scout team wise, what's going to be the best feel for our team and where we need the most help.
This is Coach Bahinga's first year as a defensive coordinator. What is it about him that gives you confidence and trust that he's really going to be a good DC?
I know K-Pop had what it took from the very beginning when I first had him on staff. And I always had a good feeling about him and his reputation from players that have played for him and guys that played for me in the NFL. Had nothing but great things to say about him. And then I watched him carefully throughout his career. And when there's an opportunity to bring him on, I'm glad that he's here. I can tell you one thing about K-Pop. He's probably the hardest working coordinator I've ever been around. And you work that hard, only good things can happen. And just really pleased with everything. I'm just have to keep reminding him doesn't have to do so much, but it's nice to have to tell somebody to ease up a little bit, but he's intense, he wants it, and I think with that type of work ethic, you can't go wrong.
Zay said he was pretty hands-on, much like Jay Hill was. Is that?
Yeah, that's. I think most of the coaches all of the coaches on the staff are going to be guys that I like, that I feel is going to be able to connect to the players. And I want this to be a player-run program, but at the same time, I want the mentors to be, helping the players and being there along the way. And so, with the coaches that we have on our staff, they got to be hands-on.
What stood out from the wide receivers today in the first day of practice from your vantage point?
Yeah, the young guys are really good. The returning guys are really good too, and the timing with veteran quarterbacks that we have with Bourget and with Bear has been nice, and then seeing other guys like Enoch come along and throw. And these guys utilize their time on their play run practices and their individual time this summer really, really well, and hanging out together and running routes, and it showed today.
Kalani, during your tenure, there's been a lot of things in college football that have changed pretty dramatically. How do you navigate all of those changes while still being the head coach when things change, whether it's from year to year or sometimes even month to month? How much of an added layer does that add to just being a coach these days?
I think you just got to adapt, and probably the moment that I'm not willing to do that is when I'm probably need to hang it up. You know what I mean? So listen, whatever happens, rules or things that you're allowed to do, we're going to always try to see if they're aligned with what we are as a university, which is aligned with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and how can we benefit from this, and how can we get these young men on our team to be the best version of themselves. If we can do that off the field in the classroom, then it should transfer over to the field. But we're still trying to figure all that stuff out, and I feel like we have a good mindset because we're focused on the right thing first. And these guys, I enjoy coaching these young men because they're the best in college football. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see what they can do and the sacrifices that they've made in the offseason, and for them to reap the rewards when it comes this fall.
How are you approaching a camp with so many returning faces to get them ready for the battles of the season? Like, how are you handling those veterans? Are you creating opportunities for younger guys? Like, how are you approaching this camp, maybe strategically from that standpoint?
Everything's got to be. I think there's not a cookie cutter system anymore. It's not like even with the lifting and all that stuff, everything has to be a little bit more specialized. And so we have a plan for the veterans that have kind of proven themselves, and what do they need to see, and how can we keep them fresh, but also keep them coming along and progressing. So everybody has a range of development. And so the veterans have development, but it's a different development than the young freshmen coming in. So we have to adjust and specialize all our training, our meetings, how we do things, and what we do on the football field. And so the coaches, sports science, our trainers, our support staff, everybody involved has been really crucial to making this work. And it takes everybody getting that done. I'm just the one that gets to talk to you guys, but everybody else is doing all the work, and I've been really pleased with the entire staff and everybody that's in this building.
So to follow up on that, are you breaking out like newcomers in meetings? Like so when they're done with practice, like how can you take us into that?
We're doing a lot of different things. Otherwise, if you teach the same stuff, and the guys that have already been there already know it, it falls on deaf ears. They already know. So the action is to try to get them to do the teaching, get them to be involved in it. So flipping the classroom, things like that. It's looking at a growth mindset and trying to change the classroom and how we learn. So that's the main way with the young guys, and then giving them reps. And so you have to combine that with opportunities to be on the field. And so we've been able to do that. And I thought we did a great job at it with what we did with Bear last year. So Bear still needs to develop. It's just at a different level. And then now we can complement that with everything that's going on around him.
During the media days in Texas, a lot of the coaches had very positive things to say about you, your personality, your character, and how you coach. They also said you have a group chat with them. How do you maintain a relationship with those coaches and and continue that throughout the season?
Well, I mean, I think you give me too much credit on that. We have amazing coaches in this conference. I've been welcomed to them when first time we had our meetings. All the coaches that were there were super warm, just kind, and the leadership in the Big 12 has been amazing. So for me to just be in there, it was a really cool environment for me to be in. And so it's like it's not anything that I've done. I'm joining a good group of men, of leaders that have done a great job, and it's pretty cool because we actually get to share thoughts and notes and talk a lot about there's only so many guys that know exactly what we're going through, so it's a really cool fraternity to be involved with and be able to be it's weird we have to compete and we have to play against each other, but it's kind of nice to have that friendship, and it's made things a lot more enjoyable being in this conference.
There you go. Kalani Sitake, head coach of the BYU Cougars. Any big takeaways there?
I always love listening to Kalani Sitake and the way that he talks about his team and the way that he talks about his players. One of the things that Tim brought up earlier this week that really stuck with me and that I now bring up here is the fact that Kalani is the type. He's so altruistic in the way that he always pumps up the guys around him rather than the work himself that he's doing. He's always quick to turn the praise to the players actually doing the work, to the players actually going in and making BYU be as successful as they have been the last couple of seasons. And he'll never really put himself in the position where he'll take the credit for it. But I think Kalani deserves a lot of credit for the development of a lot of players on this team. The thing for me for BYU this season is the fact that they returned so much talent, and obviously Kalani Sitake and the staff has a big hand in all that. And so he'll never stand in front of the media and take that credit for himself, but he does deserve, ultimately, him and his staff ultimately deserve a lot of credit for developing guys like Isaiah Glasgow, for developing guys like Bear Bachmeier, for developing guys, the list can go on. There's just so much elite talent that's returning for this BYU team, and that's where the coaching staff, deserves massive credit.
And there were some big losses, after last season. You lose a lot of talent like Jack Kelly, Chase Roberts specifically, Tanner Wall, another big contributor. Parker Kingston is not on the roster. Carson Ryan. So you lose some key pieces, but at the end of the day, you look at what this roster is returning. You got studs everywhere. Glasgow is awesome. Faletau Satuala, you and I both really, really like him. Keanu Tanavasa on the interior, Kirkland as well. And then, of course, offensively, you've got the reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year in LJ Martin. You've got your quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, 6'5", 240-pound monster that is coming back as a sophomore. So there honestly have been a lot of questions. Is this the most talented roster that BYU has had under Kalani Sitake? And I think that's an interesting conversation because you look at what happened last year with BYU and where they finished, and ultimately they made the Big 12 championship. They were not able to win it. So I guess where I want to go with this, Alex, the big question right now, is it kind of championship or bust for Kalani Sitake and the Cougars? Because there are so many things that go into that outside of just all the returning talent. But then you look at the storyline with Kalani almost taking the Penn State job.
Right. And
last second deciding to ultimately return to BYU. And you don't do that for nothing, right? You don't turn down a top probably 10 job in the country to come back to BYU if you don't think that this roster has what it takes.
Yes.
If you don't think you're close.
It's a storyline that I think people are, they're not talking about anymore, but I think it's a storyline that's going to continue to be relevant as the season goes on. Because if BYU is in a position where, obviously there's still a lot of football to be played and a lot of things that are going to happen this football season, but if Kalani Sitake and this coaching staff have another similar season to the one that you saw last season, maybe even get to the point where they're winning a Big 12 championship and they're making it into the college football playoff, there's going to be jobs that are going to open up again this offseason, Christian.
Yep.
And I'm assuming his name is going to be in that, in those conversations again, depending on what jobs will open, depend on how the season goes for BYU. As far as the most talented roster conversation goes under Kalani Sitake, I think I would have to say yes. You have probably the most experience you've had on the offensive line, it feels like. You probably have had, obviously, massive that LJ Martin is coming back, and he's probably a big catalyst as to why BYU is held in such high conversations about what their ceiling is and what they can accomplish this season. you still have a sophomore quarterback that I think has levels to his game to be unlocked as he continues to grow, as he continues to gain experience and develop as well. And you have an elite talent all across the defense coming back this season. So I think this is probably the most talented roster under the Kalani Sitake era, which of course brings that expectation of the championship or bust. You made it into you made it into the Big 12 championship last season. Now, how do you take that next step to potentially go on and win the conference championship, to win the Big 12? And then, of course, that would secure your ticket to a college football playoff appearance.
So I guess, in other words, would it be a disappointment if they don't even make the title game, the Big 12 title game?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think so. That's the bar that has been set for the Cougs because of Kalani, because of the experience on the roster, because of all of that.
You have to get back to where you were last season.
Back-to-back double-digit win seasons. If you don't even make it to where you were last year, that's the disappointment.
Yes.
So this BYU team has to make the Big 12 title game.
I would say yes. I think that's the minimum for a successful season for BYU, considering where you were last season, right? With how much you're returning, with the roster you have, with the coaching staff, right, that you were able to retain, with Kalani coming back, it would be a step back to not make that college football not make the Big 12 championship.
And hopefully that turns into a college football playoff appearance.
Absolutely.
You know, the elusive thing that BYU has really been right on the doorstep of back-to-back years. Really, I mean, Cougar fans could feel like they've been screwed the past 2 years because of the circumstances in which they were left off. But I'm right there with you. I mean, that is the bar, that is the expectation. And frankly, I really do we can run through the schedule a little bit. They've got, I think, a better schedule than they did last year. You look at 3 pivotal games, I think, that are going to decide this season for the Cougs. Obviously, game number 2 at home against Arizona. You love to have them at home. I think it's honestly an advantage to have them early on in the season. It's kind of a, wake up and get ready game. Like, make sure that you are flying. You've got the pancake game against Utah Tech before that. But week 2, that's your first big test, and it's at home. But Arizona is a really good team. A lot of people have them as kind of dark horses in the Big 12. So I like that they have them early. I like that they have them at home.
Yes. Noah Fate and Arizona, too, are one of those teams in that conversation of teams who could potentially make it to Arlington and compete for a Big 12 championship. And so I think getting that out of the gate, it'll be a good test for BYU. With it being week 2, you hope that the squad and you hope that the team is relatively healthy as far as both sides go. So because you want the best going up against the best. Again, a team in Arizona who I think this season have something to prove, right? How do you build off the success of last season, and how do you send off Noah Fafita, right? This is the last year of eligibility. How do you make sure to send him off with a bang? And this is a fantastic test for both teams to start off the season.
But in terms of BYU, it's good to have them early, especially when it's at home, because you don't want, a good conference opponent late in the season where it's like, okay, we've got to beat them.
Right.
At the, week 10, 11, 12, for us to reach our goals, we need to win that game. That's kind of a game where you'd hope BYU can win that at home, but if they lose that one, you've still got 10 games after that.
There's still room. Absolutely. It's early. There's still room for improvement. There's still room to make up some ground. I think whoever wins this game, since it is week 2 and since it's one of the early conference games across the Big 12, whoever wins this game really has that early lead to dictate who's going to make it to Arlington. Absolutely.
Of course, another swing game, Notre Dame at home. Everybody's looking forward to that game. That is going to be awesome. October 17th, the Fighting Irish coming into Provo. Time is not announced yet, but we're hoping that's going to be a night game. Perfect, like 6:30 kickoff, right?
Vampire Cougs, man.
Dude, I can't wait for that.
Vampire Cougs.
Although it is a non-conference game, I think that's going to nationally kind of get a sense of where BYU truly does rank. This is a Notre Dame team that has been in national conversations under Freeman, their head coach, right? Everybody knows how good they are. This is a matter of how good actually are the BYU Cougars, because when you look at the national test that the Big 12 has had over the last few years with Arizona State in the college football playoff, with Texas Tech in the college football playoff, the Big 12 has disappointed. So you look at this game as an opportunity for BYU to represent themselves and the conference against a team that is probably going to be in the playoff at the end of the year. I mean, the new rules basically ensure that they will be. Mm-hmm. So this is a playoff test for BYU.
And absolutely.
It doesn't ultimately really affect their chances at the Big 12 championship, right? But, if BYU wins that game, it's going to be hard to leave them out of the college football playoff at the end of the year.
100%. And there is a real possibility that if things go the way BYU wants them to go, there is a possibility that both these teams are heading into LaVell Edwards Stadium on Saturday, October 17th, undefeated. Top, whatever ranked teams, and it could really define, as you mentioned, the Big 12 and the way that the committee views the conference, as well as, of course, Notre Dame and their chances to go out and win a national championship. I've seen a lot of people in the early goings of the preseason predictions and the preseason stuff. A lot of national guys have already, tabbed Notre Dame as their national championship winner. They are the team to beat.
It's a little rich for me. But they've got a good quarterback.
They do have,
and they've got a good head coach.
Absolutely. And a really solid defense. And if BYU can, obviously go into LaVell Edwards, win that game, it's a statement, I think, for all of college football. But you also can't, you also can't overlook, obviously, that Arizona game that comes week 2. And I think you can't look that road test at TCU either. We'll see where TCU really lands. But heading on to M&G Carter Stadium, heading on the road for that Big 12 matchup, that I think will also be a good test and could be a sneaky test depending on where TCU lands. But those are two games that you can't overlook, knowing what's to come on October 17th when you'll take on Notre Dame.
And of course, the third swing game that's going to really determine BYU's season is November 7th at Utah. That's especially now that they're conference opponents. Yeah. That game is always going to have huge implications down the stretch. And especially when Utah's a good team. Even 2 years ago when Utah wasn't good, it was still a really close game. It took a game-winning drive by the Cougs to win that game. And then, of course, last season, the infamous play, Bear Bachmeier carrying 6 dudes into the end zone. There's always fireworks in that game. And we'll spend some time talking about Utah coming up at 11:05. But both of these teams have a really good chance at playing for the conference title game. So if the Cougs can take this one in the regular season at Utah, then of course, that's going to do good for them. And honestly, you'd love to hurt your rival's chances at making the title game. So really, though, I think it's beneficial for the Cougs that you look at their road schedule. They only have 2 tough road games, and that's at Utah and at TCU.
And even then, one of them, it's a road game, but you drive up, what?
2 years ago,
you drive
that
up 30
stadium
minutes.
was half blue, right?
So, yeah. And that too. BYU fans show up to Rice Cycles.
Right. So, I like BYU's schedule. I think it really does break in their favor. They get all of their toughest tests at home, outside of that Utah game. So, I'm excited. November 7th, going to be crazy.
Can they make it 4 in a row? That's the big question. How does Morton Scally obviously approach that game with it being his first rivalry game as a head coach? So a lot of eyes will be on November 7th, and I think even more so nationally, eyes will be on that October 17th game. BYU's got a chance here for something special.
Again, we will talk Utah coming up 11:05. Coming up next, we're going to hear from some more Cougar sound from the week. Isaiah Glasker and LJ Martin, kind of the leader of the defense, leader of the offense, coming out and speaking on day 1 after practice. So we're going to hear what they had to say. A lot of good tidbits in there. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
This stuff is available everywhere. Wherever you are, the KSL Sports Zone will be right there with you. It's the KSL Sports app.
I love it.
Where you can get the latest podcasts, up to the second breaking news, and analysis of the teams you can't live without right from your phone. And wherever in the world you may be, you can have DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben tag along with live streaming of your favorite shows. Download the KSL Sports app and never miss a thing. Presented by University of Utah Health. Health is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the Utah Royals are back in action in Denver, playing the Summit at 2 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. At 6:35, you can listen to the Salt Lake Bees and the Oklahoma City Comets on 1280 The Zone. And then at 8 o'clock, RSL back in Leagues Cup action. Listen to the game at 8 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. If you want to introduce your company to the Zone's passionate listeners and reach a lot of potentially brand new customers, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com.
At University of Utah Health, we're mapping DNA to find the cause and the cure. Because 1 in a million is really just one. One person, facing one incredibly difficult diagnosis. Looking for one thing: hope. Learn more at uofuhealth.org.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason, and Silverado keeps its rhythm. You feel it in the TurboMax engine with best-in-class standard torque, an available Z71 off-road package that keeps you rolling when the road turns rough, and the most functional truck bed with best-in-class cargo space. They're trucks that work as hard as you do, so you can do more of what you love without missing a beat.
See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Based on latest competitive information, excludes other GM vehicles.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win tickets to Motley Crue with Tesla and Extreme at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater September 21st. Get tickets at livenation.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Drop in for one of our delicious gourmet burgers made with 100% choice Grand Chuck. We're in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Welcome back into the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Annapolis, finally celebrating that fall camps are underway. BYU,
football's here, man.
Utah State, football is here. Last segment, we let you hear from Kalani Sitake, head coach of the Cougs. We went through kind of their schedule and some games that are really going to impact the way the season goes, but you and I are on the same page as far as championship or bust for this squad. I mean, this is the season. This is the most expectations I think that have been placed on a BYU team since I've been working here, and it's only been a few years, right? But you look at the growth that they have made in the Big 12 conference, and they have quickly risen to the top. You know, they made the Big 12 championship game last year. This year, that's the expectation.
As it should be. Again, with everything that you're returning, with everybody, with all the elite talent that you have, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm a big believer in defense with champions, man. And I know you lose Jay Hill, but, bringing back key contributors, elite contributors like Keanu Tanavas on the defensive line, like Isaiah Glasker. You bring in probably one of the more underrated linebacker transfers in Kedu Luave, something that I think people aren't talking about enough, somebody who I don't think people are talking about enough, and something that kind of flew under the radar as far as the national look goes. Obviously here locally everybody knows and everybody's excited for Cade, but there is just elite talent all over that defense. Now it's just up to Kelly Papinga to put his stamp on that defense and get the Cougars ready.
Speaking of defense, let's hear from linebacker Isaiah Glasker first. He talks about playing for the new guy, Kelly Papinga. Here's Glasker.
How was the first day? I think the team's looking good so far. I know our defense stacks, so it's going to be fun getting back out here and playing with these guys.
What's it like having Kelly Papinga as the defensive coordinator?
I definitely say he's an intense guy, but it's I don't know, I feel like you learn something new every day from him, and I feel like especially being as a linebacker, it's like he was a linebacker, and I'm just excited for the season to come. So
Jay Hill was pretty hands-on. How was he in relation to how Jay was?
Yeah, like I love Jay Hill. He was a great coach. He was, like you said, super hands-on. I feel like with Jay Hill, he was more of like a safeties type of guy. He was hands-on with the safeties, and then you get Kelly Papinga, like I said, a linebacker guy. So it's, I don't know, you learn a lot from him. So.
What do you say about the team's mentality coming into camp?
I feel like really just the same thing. We take it day by day, and then when the season comes, it's going to be game after game. So really just trying to get our things together and, dominate this season. So,
what are your expectations?
Right now, it's just win our first game. That's all I can really say.
Does it feel weird to be back out here? 'Cause I know last year you were planning on being maybe in the NFL this time last year.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, for sure. But I'm excited to be able to run it back and hopefully go get that national championship. So,
yeah, your cousin's on this team. Have you had a chance to go up against him yet?
Shoot, I'm just waiting to get those pads on and give him that welcome to college football moment.
Where do you feel like the defense's biggest strength is this year?
I feel like there's not really one specific. You got guys up front with Keanu, and then you got guys the back end, solid, Falatau, Satwala, Raider. Like really all those guys can play, and then just our linebackers. It's really any guy can go in and make a play at any time. So really, just I feel like everyone has it. So
will that front be able to put pressure on quarterbacks without your help?
Shoot, I feel like they can do it themselves. Really, if anything, they're going to open it up for me. So I'm excited.
It seems like the defense has a lot of ball hawks returning this year. What does that mean for your ability as a team to create turnovers? Because I know that's kind of been the calling card the last couple of seasons, and you guys have been right there at the top of the Big 12 in terms of getting those takeaways.
I would say really it's nice just because, especially as a linebacker coming off the edge, it's always nice when the quarterback drops back there and he's just putting the ball. So I don't know, a little bit easier to get sacks, and I feel like we got those guys like Trey Alexander, Evan Johnson, these guys who can just lock down, so I'm excited.
How good can Justin Kirkland be?
I've never seen a dude like that before. Him and Keanu together, you're in for a long movie.
Being such a leader on this team, just what can you say? What do you think the identity of this group in 2026 will be?
I would say really just to make plays, and I feel like we're the hard-working team, and I don't know, I've seen over the offseason, dudes are taking that extra step, so hopefully we can just show it on the field this season. So.
There you go. That is BYU linebacker Isaiah Glasker talking about he had the opportunity to go to the NFL, go pro, and he decided to run it back at BYU. And ultimately, I think that's going to end up being a really good decision for him. I think that's going to improve his draft stock. Not only that, but he has a chance to do something really special here with BYU as far as pushing for a Big 12 championship. I'm excited to see what Glasker brings because he was a dog last year.
100%. And, he was dealing with some injuries, some bumps and bruises throughout the course of the season last year. And so maybe necessarily didn't have the season that I think he anticipated. I don't think, he had the season that a lot of BYU fans anticipated. So hopefully this year he's relatively healthier. And he's able to go out there, man, and go out there and show to the NFL scouts and show to the, everybody watching him to potentially move on to the next level that he can be that guy, and comes back and helps BYU to get to where they want to go.
Let's switch gears, talk some offense. The big question there is obviously the wide receiver room because Chase Roberts graduated. Parker Kingston no longer on the team. You brought up Carson Ryan earlier. Didn't have, a consistent impact, but there were games where he made huge plays, and everybody knows he was important to the team. So those are their top three targets, all gone. And you look at JoJo Phillips, he's returning. Bit of a disappointment when he came back last year from injury. But LJ Martin, we're going to listen to what he had to say earlier. He brings up he's not really worried about the pass game. He thinks they can be special. So here's BYU running back, reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, LJ Martin.
So you led the Big 12 in rushing last year. What do you do for an encore this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really worried about stats or anything. We're just really worried about wins. And yeah, I mean, every time I try to touch the ball, the goal is a touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm doing my part, we should win. And, yeah, I'll have whatever I need.
What was accomplished today in day one?
Yeah, a lot was accomplished, just going out there, just getting back familiar with the playbook and just competing again. So it was good for us just to come out here and get to competing again.
How much of a workload is maybe the first team offense, taking on in camp? Because with so much experience, are you guys just kind of pacing yourselves for the battles of the season? Or are you guys kind of in the thick of it already?
No, yeah, I would say we're in the thick of it already. Yeah, we want to do a lot. We're trying to get ready, but also there is that happy medium of getting ready to have a long season. So I would say we're trying to do as much as we can while also being smart.
LJ, what were your impressions of the new running back? I think his name's Journey Tonga. Mm-hmm. Was he out here today, and what were your impressions of him?
Yeah, Journey was out here. He did well. He's a young guy. He knows the playbook pretty well already for someone his age, so I'm really impressed. And, I think he'd be really good.
Sione Moa back to his usual self in the backfield?
No, yeah, saw Sione today. He looked good. He was doing great in spring as well. So, he just picked up where he left off in spring, so I'm really excited for him.
So we haven't seen you on the field since the game before the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel coming back out here for the first time in whatever it's been?
No, yeah, I felt great. Just a little bit of rust to be shaken off. Just have had actually people in front of me whenever I'm running the ball or just going through things. So now having someone in front of me, going against one of the guys one-on-one, it's been fun, and it was fun.
When did you get fully cleared?
Yeah, I've been cleared since about early June. So yeah, a couple months now.
Do you anticipate a lighter than normal workload, just considering what you've accomplished already in your career?
I don't know. It's whatever Coach A-Rod wants to give me. So yeah, that's going to be my workload.
What have been kind of the things you've worked on to get ready for fall camp and kind of get back to where you were last year?
Yeah, just getting my shoulder back, and then as well as just trying to be better all around, just speed, strength, and just also being smarter.
What's this team's level of motivation like, and could you feel it even on day one of camp?
Yeah, I think we're real motivated. I think we're really excited to be out here. I think we're having a great time, and you see all the guys out here. We're all enjoying just being back out here competing with each other. So I think we're really excited to play football again.
Multiple of your teammates have said that you are the best tailback in the country. That comes from your quarterback. How do you take that?
Yeah, yeah, everyone has their own best tailback, and if I'm there, it's cool. If not, I'll just have to go out there and show it. So, that's, anyone's goal. You always want to be the best. If not, then why you play? So, I'm out here trying to be the best and just keep going.
With so many returning faces in this offense, what's going to be different this year, you think? What are going to be some of the characteristics that are maybe different or elements to this offense in 2026?
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to throw the ball. We threw the ball well last year, but I think it's going to be a lot better this year. We got a lot of targets coming back, and we added a lot of targets too. So I'm really excited. We got a lot of guys with a lot of ability out there. So just getting familiar right now, and and then game one we'll have to go out there and showcase it.
Any plays that stood out to you from your vantage point for the offense that caught your attention that you could share with us?
One of our receivers caught a touchdown deep down there, so I was really excited for that. And so there was that.
Who was it?
I believe it was Jared Esplin. So he's a receiver. Yeah, he came over last fall, and he had a good showing, and he's been doing good spring, good during workouts, and I'm excited for him.
How much better can Bear be after a full off season actually being here?
Yeah, he can be a lot better. Just going from high school to college, it's a whole nother jump. So he's I feel like he's gotten a lot better already, and I feel like he could take even a bigger step just, being in a college off season and just getting used to things.
What specifically have you seen from him that's maybe different from last season?
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference is, he's just a lot familiar with the playbook, and he just knows where he's going. I feel like a lot of stuff pre-snap he's already knowing what's going on, so I just think he got a lot better in that area.
LJ, the offensive line has big expectations this year. A lot of people saying good stuff about them. What do you see specifically where you think that they're going to be good this year?
Yeah, they just based off what they did last year, they did really well last year, and just today in practice they were opening up holes. They were doing a great job today in practice, so I'm really excited to see what they could do in games.
There you go. That's L.J. Martin, another player kind of hoping to improve his draft stock coming in, and I think it's pretty safe to say that he's the best running back in the Big 12. I know Texas Tech's guy that missed last year with injury. A lot of expectations there, but you bring up the Offensive Player of the Year. I think everybody knows the talent that LJ Martin brings.
That speaks for itself. And having him back, I think, is massive for the offense, because you look at the running back depth, and I think we talked about this a little bit last week, where he was banged up, right? And there was questions about who came in behind LJ Martin. I think that you look for the depth to take some steps forward, but you can do it comfortably knowing that you have LJ Martin returning, who can lead that backfield and continue to be the strong workhorse that he was last season.
Yeah, and that's going to be key. I think if BYU can figure out the running back depth behind LJ, not necessarily take a little bit off his plate, but, you don't want to have to lean on LJ Martin for 12 games. Mm-hmm. And he's a great player to have out there on the field, and you want to build your offense around him, make no mistake about it, but you saw the crucial stretch last year where he missed some games and then came back, and he clearly wasn't 100% for a couple more weeks because of that injury. You don't want to have that. You want to be able to spread the ball around in the backfield a little bit. So I think BYU feels optimistic about that. They sound pretty optimistic about their pass game. But again, I don't think they're going to come in day one of camp and be like, yeah, not real confident about our wide receiver room. So that's going to be what I'm watching.
Right.
Throughout these next few weeks is who rises to the top as far as becoming the number one receiver, number one, number two, number three. There's a lot of names involved, but nobody that's really shown anything yet.
No, and they need the players to step up throughout fall camp, and this is what this time of year is for, is to get some of those answers. But I think we'll have a little bit more clarity when it comes to that Utah Tech game coming up to open up the season. And we were talking about it earlier with Arizona week 2. They got to get some answers. They got to get them fast.
Fast, yes. I do wonder how big of a role Tiger Bachmeier is going to have. I think it would be really cool to have the Bachmeier to Bachmeier connection.
Yep. Still waiting for it.
That would be awesome.
Still waiting for it.
JoJo Phillips, another name we brought up. He's been part of the rotation. He was supposed to have a big role last year, but he missed a lot of time due to injury. He came back and he really struggled with the dropsies. So hopefully he's got that figured out, because he honestly, I think, has the best chance at being the top dog in this room, but we will see. Legend Glasker, a freshman, could come in and have an impact there because the room is so wide open.
Can't pump him up enough. Buy stock on Legend Glasker. I know he's a true freshman, but everybody's singing his praises, man, and I will too. Watching him last year at Lehigh, phenomenal football player. Can't wait to watch Legend Glasker at the college level.
All right, we're going to hit Utah coming up at 11:05. Coming up next, though, we're going to get into technical fouls, one of our favorite segments every single week. So stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim Legault.
Joining us now, it is the head coach of the Utah State Aggies, Bronco Mendenhall.
I know you're so process-driven and there's a plan to every part of the season, but is this your favorite part?
There's an excitement that comes to the start of every season for sure. I would have to say, just in terms of full transparency, I really like the offseason. I like the molding, forming, crafting, forging the next team through the weight workouts and through the runs and through the early morning workouts and through spring practice. I think that's my favorite era. Nothing takes away from the season, or can it take the place of the season, and the excitement going into today, certainly at a really high level. I think foundationally that my favorite part is the formation of the team, and now this part where you get to see kind of the fruition of the formation of your program.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK and John from J. Brooks Jewelers. Do you want a ring that no one else in the world has? Here's something you need to know.
That's right, DJ. At J. Brooks Jewelers, we're a full custom jewelry house, which means that we design and create your piece start to finish right here in Utah. From the first idea you may have seen online to the very final polish, everything is done in-house by our expert team of artisans. So when you work with our custom stylists and our highly skilled artisans, there's no mass production and no middlemen, just true craftsmanship and collaboration. We'll sit down with you and talk through your vision, show you design concepts, and bring your dream piece to life with precision and care. So whether it's an engagement ring, anniversary gift, or heirloom redesign, we love creating something that tells your story. So if you can imagine it, we can make it. So come see us today at J. Brooks Jewelers in Murray or Lehigh and begin your custom journey today. J. Brooks Jewelers, your locally owned family jeweler.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, a real friend. The kind of friend you want to thank. And not just with a card or a text, but with a song.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
From your friends at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
How are Utah schools weighing the benefits and risks of AI?
It levels the playing field for our learners.
But for one student, it gave dangerous advice.
He'd asked the chatbot, what should I do? And AI told him to punch the kid in the face.
With each district writing its own rules, the answers could change from one classroom to the next.
We need to put into place as many guardrails and protocols as we can.
Teaching with Tech, AI in Class, Monday at 10 on KSL 5.
Escape the everyday with a quick trip to Cedar City. Just one tank of gas from the Wasatch Front, but a world away in experience. Hike through the cool, refreshing beauty of Canara Falls, where red rock walls and flowing water create a stunning natural escape. Then head up to Cedar Breaks National Monument, where the air is crisp, the views stretch for miles, and the night skies come alive with thousands of stars. And when the sun goes down, step into the spotlight at the world-renowned Utah Shakespeare Festival, where unforgettable stories unfold under the open sky. From outdoor adventure to rich arts and culture to peaceful, wide-open spaces, Cedar City is the kind of getaway that helps you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect. So whether you're chasing fresh mountain air, unforgettable scenery, or a night of incredible live performance, it's all waiting for you, closer than you think. Discover the art of adventure. Find your inspiration in Cedar City. Plan your getaway today at visitcedarcity.com.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, changing conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Get hunt ready before you head into the backcountry. Gear up at Mountain Land Truck Outfitters. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment, and you'll get a free $25 Maverick G card. Don't miss his limited time hunting season offer. Visit your nearest Mountain Land Truck Outfitters location or shop today at mtnlndtruck.com. Offer valid through August 31st, 2026, or while supplies last. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment to receive one free $25 Maverick gift card. Limit one gift card per customer account while supplies last.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win tickets to Motley Crue with Tesla and Extreme at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater September 21st. Get tickets at livenation.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
This summer, everyone's invited to dinner. Join Ruth's Chris for sizzling steaks, exceptional service, and an oh-so-cool night out. Ruth's Chris, downtown Salt Lake or Hotel Park City. Make reservations at ruthschris.com.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. If you switch the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul. If you touch the thermostat,
You'll get hit with a bat.
'cause that's a technical foul.
You will feel my wrath.
That's a technical foul.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
A technical foul.
It is time for Technical Fouls, the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Christian Esparza. That's Alex Napolis. Time to take you through some of the funnier things that happened in sports throughout the week. Alex, I'll start us off here with this one. Keith Hernandez, Mets analyst now. He's a longtime player for them. The MLB trade deadline came and went, and the Mets were sellers at the trade deadline. And Keith, on the call the next day, was trying to make a metaphor about moving on from the players. And let's just say the metaphor didn't come out the way that he intended. So here's that.
Roster over, players gone, 11 newcomers in the minor leagues now, and the Mets get to start the last part of their season with a very different look.
Well, they definitely brought in the truck and took out all the garbage, so to speak. But this is a turnaround for this club. It's a new phase of the Mets broadcast, not the broadcast, but a new phase of this Mets season and Met future. Obviously, Plan A did not work out. It's got a lot of young players here. It's a look to the future.
Like it or not, the broadcast is staying the same.
Took out the garbage.
Took out the garbage and almost dissed himself. He tracked it back.
He did.
It back, and he stopped himself before he fully went in. But he did diss himself. He has since apologized. He has since apologized for the comments that he made. Says that was a poor choice of words. I can't believe that word came out of my mouth. So my apologies. Keith Hernandez posted that on Twitter.
You're telling me that was a poor choice of words. If I were one of those Mets players, I'd be trying to fight him. I'd be like, "Are you serious? That's what you have to say about me?"
Yeah, and I like the play-by-play guy at the end of it too, saying that the broadcast team isn't going to change. But you keep making comments like that, and you very well could be part of the decision. Part of the decision.
You're going to be the garbage that's taken out next time.
I didn't want to say it, but yes.
We had another funny one this week. Kevin Durant taking to social media. Sometimes, it's like, Kevin, you got to put the phone down. But I think he went on a heater this week a little bit. Basically, there was some conversation about, and we even kind of brought it up, right? I think one of us compared LeBron joining Philly to Kevin Durant joining the Warriors.
Yeah.
It feels like a bandwagon move.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant saw other people making those comparisons, and he said that LeBron joining Philly is even worse. He said it on Instagram. It ain't close. Joel Embiid, MVP recently. Jaylen Brown, recent Finals MVP. Tyrese Maxey, All-Star in the last 3 years. And we all know what Bron does. Klay Thompson, never an MVP candidate and nothing. 22 points per game. Klay Thompson since responded and said, "Man, why'd you have to use my full government name?"
Why are you going after Klay, man? Why is Klay catching strays in all this,
Do you think that Kevin Durant has a point?
To LeBron joining the 76ers?
Do you think LeBron joining Philly is more egregious than Kevin Durant joining the Warriors?
No, I put it on the same category.
You'd put it on the same category?
I put it on the same category in the fact that, KD, when he made that move to the Warriors, you knew exactly why he made that move. He was joining a team who had already won championships. He was joining a team who was clearly positioned to win a championship. And when he moved to the Warriors, when he moved to the Warriors, he ended up winning a championship with them. There is this famous viral TikTok sound that I'm sure you've heard, Christian, that it's a bunch of guys sitting at a table in front of microphones, and they're talking about Kevin Durant and not being legendary. Stop calling that man legendary. It's a super viral sound, and that is exactly what it is, because he joined KD, he joined the Warriors to win the championship, and that's exactly how I see it.
Honestly, that's why I would still say that was worse than LeBron joining Philly. I mean, because at this point, the only
difference is that the Philadelphia 76ers have yet to win the championship.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And LeBron's 41 years old, 42 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's past his prime. Kevin Durant was in his prime. At that time, Kevin Durant was seen as one of the best players in the NBA, joining
a super team,
one of the best players in the NBA that had already won a title.
Right.
And then they win 2 more after that with KD. So that's why I'd say it's worse. I mean, you look at Philly, and Tyrese Maxey, All-Star, cool. Joel Embiid was an MVP 3 years ago, has played like 5 games since then. Jaylen Brown was very good in Boston, but honestly, he's kind of a basket case, and that's where I can't wait to see how this plays out in Philly, because I think it's a pretty clunky roster. I think there are a lot of egos. I'd be surprised if the 76ers win a title.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Kevin Durant is honestly in the wrong here. What he did was way worse.
I'd still put it, again, kind of in the same category, except the championships, right? The only thing that's different of this whole scenario is the fact that Philadelphia has yet to win that championship.
All right.
And KD would just join a team who was either coming off or
they had just won
a championship or whenever it was. But to your point, I do agree that right now there is a lot of egos in that Philadelphia 76ers locker room, and that is why I don't know if this is going to work for Philly.
We will see.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Father Time. Okay, Alex, let's take a break. Coming up next, let's get into Utah Sound. Earlier this hour, we heard a lot from BYU. We heard from Kalani Sitake. We heard from Isaiah Glasker and LJ Martin. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Morgan Scally, the new head honcho at the U, taking over after, 21 years from Kyle Whittingham. It's weird to have a new head coach up there in the red, but Morgan Scally is the guy. I loved hearing his comments earlier in the week, so we're going to get to that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This stuff is available everywhere. Wherever you are, the KSL Sports Zone will be right there with you. It's the KSL Sports app.
I love it.
Where you can get the latest podcasts, up-to-the-second breaking news, and analysis of the teams you can't live without right from your phone. And wherever in the world you may be, you can have DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben tag along with live streaming of your favorite shows. Download the KSL Sports app and never miss a thing. Presented by University of Utah Health. Health is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Build your career where the fun never stops. Join the Lagoon Maintenance and Construction team and play a key role in keeping the park running strong. Now hiring ride maintenance technicians and HVAC technicians for full-time, year-round positions. If you enjoy hands-on work, problem solving, and being part of a team that values safety and skill, this is the place for you. Plus, you'll get great benefits and real career growth. Apply today at lagoonpark.com/jobs. Must be 18 years or older to apply.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the Utah Royals are back in action in Denver, playing the Summit at 2 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. At 6:35, you can listen to the Salt Lake Bees and the Oklahoma City Comets on 1280 The Zone. And then at 8 o'clock, RSL back in Leagues Cup action. Listen to the game at 8 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. If you want to introduce your company to the Zone's passionate listeners and reach a lot of potentially brand new customers, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like head administrator for a state-of-the-art surgical center.
What can I do for you, Doc?
We need to talk about the lights.
Ah, the mood lighting, relaxing, right? Much better than those old hospital vibes.
A hospital's supposed to have hospital vibes.
You seem tense. Let's dim the lights a bit.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Technology never stands still. And neither does Lessel's and IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let Les be here for you.
Many of our U.S. veterans and service members face challenges: mental health struggles, housing obstacles, employment, food insecurity, and social isolation, to name just a few. I'm Bob Woodruff. My family and I started the Bob Woodruff Foundation in 2006 after I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq. Our service members had my back that day, and we need to have theirs now more than ever. At the Bob Woodruff Foundation, we raise awareness about the tough challenges veterans and military families face and invest in solutions to help support them in the next chapter of their lives. And with one solution comes the next. We solve a housing situation, we increase employment opportunities. We solve employment problems, we address food insecurity. We solve food insecurity, we impact physical and mental health issues. Learn more about our work at bobwooderfoundation.org/success.
Visit Serenoni's Summer Warehouse Sale, Saturday, August 8th, 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. at Bountiful High School. Save up to 70% off luxury blankets, baby gifts, and more. Celebrate 20 years of comfort with Serenoni.
Listen every morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with Jake and Ben for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
Broadcasting live from the KSL Cars Studio. This is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back into the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, taking you through week 1 of fall camp here locally in the state of Utah. We brought up earlier all 3 teams going underway. It was a bit of a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday sort of thing. So a lot of content finally this week. And of course, anything you miss, you can always find at kslsports.com under the podcast page. You can hear from anybody under the sun. I mean, BYU had a ton of people available this week, including Kalani Sitake, LJ Martin, Isaiah Glasker. Utah, we're going to hear from Morgan Scally here coming up in just a second. We're also going to hear from Kevin McGibbon, but they had, I think, basically all of their assistant coaches available at some point throughout the week. So we got a ton of Utah sound in this first week. So again, if you missed any of that, you want to get your fix, go check it out at kslsports.com. But of course, Alex, the big conversation this year with the Utes is how are they going to look with the new head coach? And that's not something that Utah has had to get used to very often. I mean, in our lifetime, it's been Urban Meyer, Kyle Whittingham, and now Morgan Scally.
Yes.
So this is pretty crazy. But Morgan being the internal guy, the one that was the coach in waiting, I think that eases a lot of concern.
Absolutely. Eases a lot of concern. You had Morgan Scally preparing and getting ready for this opportunity. Now that it's here, we'll look at the schedule here in a moment, but I think the schedule is set up in a way nicely for Utah to be able to kind of build up and get to the point where they can, attack the latter part of the season where they have the bigger matchups, I would say, then, kind of ramping up to that point and getting ready through some good tests early on. But the schedule shapes up nicely for year 1 under Morgan Scally.
At least the first few weeks, right?
Yes.
You open the season at home against Idaho, Arkansas, and Utah State. 3 home games in a row. First road game is at Iowa State. They're going to be terrible. You're also at home versus Kansas, and then you're at Colorado. They're going to be terrible. And then that's when the switch flips, right? You're going to go at home against Houston, at Cincinnati, at home against BYU, at Arizona, at TCU, and at West Virginia to close out the year. But that kind of latter half of the schedule could get tough really quick.
November's brutal.
Yeah, that's why you got to hope that throughout the first half of the season, Utah takes care of business. And as you mentioned, kind of tunes up quickly.
Mm-hmm. November's going to be a fun month for the University of Utah, right? You start off the month with BYU, that big test, the rivalry game, then you head on the road to Tucson to take on Arizona, then you head on the road to take on TCU, you wrap it up with West Virginia. So just that 3-week stretch alone is going to be what, in my eyes, defines the season for the University of Utah this year.
I'd honestly extend it to the 2 weeks before that, at home against Houston and then at Cincinnati.
Those are
at the latter part of October.
Those are games that you obviously don't want to overlook, and you don't want to take lightly. I don't know if Cincinnati is going to be as the trajectory that they were on last season. Maybe they do bring in a good solid quarterback to replace Brendan Sorsby, and they can still pick up where they left off. I'm still on the fence of where Cincinnati's at, so maybe you have a little bit of a dip there where you can you go from a massive test in Houston to maybe a little bit of dip in Cincinnati, and then you get to that 3-week stretch. But absolutely, to your point, you can't overlook the Houston and the Cincinnati game either.
And who knows, maybe Houston's not that good. I think you were kind of on the Houston train last year. I didn't really believe in them just because they had such a soft schedule. They didn't play anybody tough in the conference, so their record looked really good at the end of the year. But this year, they've finally got some tough matchups. We'll have a much better idea of where Houston sits among the Big 12. But right now, everybody has them, top 5 in the conference. So that could very well be a tough game. Again, that is at home, though, for Utah. But you mentioned November, man, and it all starts with that BYU game and then back-to-back road games.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Against teams who are in contention.
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that they are road games. It's road games against teams. We talked about it a little bit with the BYU hour, but Arizona and TCU, 2 teams who I think everybody nationally has contending for this conference, and so tough November coming up for Utah.
But again, you mentioned that they have kind of I don't want to say soft first half of the season, but that's a good time for a good ramp up, right? It's a good opportunity for this team and Morgan Scally and everybody to just gel and get used to all of the change, because there is a lot of change at the head coach, at the offensive coordinator. Then you bring in the new defensive coordinator as well to replace Morgan Scally. So where does this team find themselves at the midway point? How good have they become? That's what we'll figure out. But I do believe in Devin Dampier's ability to lead this new offense with McGiven. It sounds like it's the same but different compared to last year's offense. A lot of it is really similar, but there are going to be some changes.
And one of those changes, and one of the things that really stood out to me, was from Devin Dampier's media availability to open up fall camp. And QB1 stands up in front of the reporters and essentially talks about the freedom that Kevin McGiven is giving him in this offense, and the freedom he has to, if he sees something, the freedom he has to check into something else, right? A different look and a different a different play, whatever the case might be. But it sounds like the reins, whatever reign he had last season under Jason Beck, he kept using the word freedom, and so I'm curious to see what that freedom looks like for Devin Dampier.
It is pretty telling,
Yeah.
When he comes and he's having this new relationship with a new coach, and he's saying it without saying it about what things looked like last year. And I get that there were a lot of restrictions physically with Dampier because of his injuries,
and that probably played a part into it too.
But you look at Dampier, and having played with Jason Beck at New Mexico already, they should have had a smoother relationship than what it's maybe sounding like. Mm-hmm. And, you got to give credit to Dampier. Like, he hasn't thrown Beck under the bus by any means, but he's just kind of thrown little hints here and there. Like, he maybe wasn't all that happy with the way the offense was ran last year. So by him coming out and saying that he's loving this freedom that he's having with Kevin McGiven, I think that's pretty telling. It's telling of what the offense is going to be like, and it's telling of obviously Dampier's feelings both towards this year and next year. So we'll hear from Devin Dampier in a second. I do want to start off with Morgan Scally because he is the big storyline. So let's listen to Morgan first, and then we'll hear from Devin Dampier coming up in about 10 minutes. So here is the new man up on the hill. This is Morgan Scally.
All right, Coach Scally, how you feeling? How are things looking? Day one, take me through.
Excited to be back. Ton of progress in spring. I love what I'm seeing in terms of the energy, the body compositions from the summer, lifting and conditioning. Good first day, 12 periods, really not grueling, just trying to knock off the cobwebs a little bit, but excited to have these guys back.
Morgan, in this transfer portal NIL era, it's rare to have two starting the quarterbacks sharing the room, but you have that with Devin and Bird. What about them makes them coexist in this offense and on this team?
Well, I think the reason for it is they're unselfish. And both of them embrace their role. Both of them are very competitive and understand that their number can be called at any time. It also allows for us to be a little bit creative and do some things with their skill sets that can cause issues with defenses. But they're unselfish young men who are all about the team. And that's a rare combination at that position. So very blessed to have those two.
With the new 2022 ruling from the kids that can come play, are you going to explore anything like that, or is your team decide?
We will explore anything that we feel gives us an advantage and can help us win football games.
How many roster spots do you have to explore, depending on how many players are available?
For us to know and you to find out. No. There is maybe some wiggle room for one or two guys, is my guess.
How do we find that out?
Well, you can talk to each other. You're smart guys.
What positions do you think are the most competitive right now?
Safety is definitely one of the most competitive positions. Linebacker, wide receiver is probably where we have the most depth.
You talked a lot about offensive line back in the spring and how May was going to be massive for their development this fall. How did the offseason go for those guys up front?
Really good, but we don't have pads on. So, when we start to hit each other and tackle and all that stuff, that's when I'll really have a good understanding. Already from day one, I can tell they've worked their butts off during the offseason. It's a lot crisper, cleaner, faster to the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of things that you can tell, okay, they've spent a ton of time together.
Devin talked a lot about this offseason just getting better as a passer, pre-snap adjustments. Now that he's had an off-season in spring, what have you seen from him just early on in terms of?
Yeah, so far so good. Like I said, the speed at which they started to execute on day one, much better than what we saw even near maybe the mid to end of spring. So the player-led practices were a huge bonus, and I think if the new bill passes, you're going to see that you can have mandatory practices during that summertime, so that just gives us another opportunity to continue to improve what we did in spring.
Morgan, how are you feeling about the state of the defensive line group?
Much like the offensive line, we got to hold off judgment until we get some pads on, but that's one group you can tell has a chip on their shoulder. If you're walking through the facility and there's guys in the position room watching film, it's the D-line. They are very aware of the guys that we lost and the pressure on them. They're up to the challenge. I'm excited for that group.
Off the bat, day one, any natural born leaders that are standing out to you? That we don't know.
Oh man, no! We won't vote for leadership and captains until before the first game. Okay. But some of the guys that were already on leadership council, showed up today, and then, again, just because you're on a leadership council doesn't mean you're a leader. You can not be on a leadership council and still be a leader. Leadership is influence based on trust you've earned, and so we've had a lot of guys that have been here a number of years and earned that trust to influence others to come along. So I'm pleased with the whole group, but we'll have to wait to see.
You've had spring ball.
Yes.
But today, first official day, how different was it for you?
It's just I'm not coaching a position group, so I'm not so much worried about, because I believe that in Coach McGiven and Coach Swan that the schemes are going to be what they need to be. My whole focus is on how we're doing it, and are we running to the ball? Are we living our culture? It's the behavior that I'm after, and probably not good enough today in terms of hustle. Being relentless to the ball, relentless jogging off the field. This game requires a lot and a lot of discipline, and if we're not holding them accountable, then the culture presents itself in a way that you're not happy with. So, not good enough today in that aspect. But the only difference for me is I'm much more looking at every position group and where can we fill holes and where can we improve, as opposed to coaching a side of the ball or a position group.
Now that you've had the spring and summer with Coach McGiven, what sticks out most about his offense?
He is going to identify our playmakers and get them the ball. He understands that we have to establish the line of scrimmage. We have to establish a physical brand of football. But he's also really good at, here are my playmakers, here's how we're going to get them the ball. Not here's my scheme, you have to fit inside of it. It's who do we have and how can I really accentuate them? How can I highlight them and their skill set?
How similar will the offense look to fans? I mean, forget all the terminology and all that.
I guess it probably very similar. Yeah, probably similar. You have formation of the boundary stuff. You have shifts, motions, the quarterback run game. And that's a big reason why Devin and Bird, wanted to stay is because it was very similar, and there'll be some added wrinkles, obviously, but yeah, I would say to the average fan, you're sitting there going, okay, this looks similar to what we saw last year.
Defensively, how much wiggle room does Colton Swan have to explore schematic changes and that sort of stuff?
Oh yeah, it's his defense. I wanted that as a defensive coordinator. Kyle gave that to me. Now, we are who we are, and we have a mutual understanding of what we want to do here, but there's certain things that they're going to do, and they'll ask my opinion on it, but I want him to have all the freedom to be him, to not feel like someone's looking over his shoulder or second guessing what he's doing. I'm there to support him. Okay, thanks everyone, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, there is head coach Morgan Scally talking about all the change that he has had over the last few months, finding himself as the man. One of the things I do really like, though, is talking about his relationship with the defensive coordinator, Colton Swan, because that was a role that Scally himself had for the last few years. And he's basically letting Swan come in and do whatever he wants with this defense. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there's a reason that Swan gets the job, because they trust him. But it's not like Morgan Scally's going to come in and say, oh, this is how I was doing it. You've got to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah. No, and it sounds like, having that relationship with Colton Swan throughout the course of the last couple of years, he has that confidence and he has that faith in Swan to kind of make that defense his own and align it with the same beliefs and the same mentality and the same thoughts that Morgan Scally had as a defensive coordinator. Now what really sticks out to me is the fact that you kind of hear it from Morgan and his want to now have his own stamp and his own imprint on both sides of the ball. And so I think there's going to be an emphasis too on bringing the RSNB mentality over to the offensive side as well. Not that it didn't have it before, but now Morgan Scally has that freedom to kind of put his own stamp on the offensive side as well too, and that's something that stuck out to me from the conversations of Morgan and some of the players this week.
Kyle Whittingham would always say that one of his favorite games that he's ever coached was like a 3-0 game. I don't remember the team or the specific game, but the final score was like 3-0.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be Morgan Scally.
No, absolutely not.
Morgan understands that you need some fireworks.
Yes, and it's a conversation you've heard it the last couple of years with the committee and the style points, and it sounds like Morgan Scally too recognizes that the committee values that, and so maybe you see Utah try to put some more style on their game this year.
Speaking of style, nobody does it better than Devin Dampier, the quarterback, the guy under center for the Utes. Let's listen to what he had to say, because we brought this up earlier. He kind of made some interesting comments about this new look, same look offense that Kevin McGivern's going to bring. So here's Devin Dampier.
All right, let's start. How you feeling? Day one, take us through.
Man, I feel great, honestly. I thought our team, we've been working hard without the coaches here a lot, building culture without them. So, for finally the coaches to be back and, see how far we've come together as a team, first practice, I thought it went well.
How comfortable are you with Coach McGivern's schemes and the offense as a team now?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. Mac G, he tells me all the time, he wants to dedicate this offense to what he feels I do best. And for us to just keep having conversations, we have days where we can get better. We have days where, we take the good out of the practice and, we just keep elevating the offense from there. So I'm happy that he respects my talents and what I can do, so we can thrive as an offense.
How was the offseason like for the offensive line?
Very time for them to mentally get stronger and just more explosive. There's a lot of days, Coach Saunders makes our workouts very orientated to the position, and you can tell those offensive linemen, a lot of them lost about 5-10 pounds of fat and then also gained like 10, 15 pounds of muscle. So for them to have that transformation just in the summer, man, now they get to showcase it out here and be at their best.
Where do you feel like you're at just in terms of some of the improvements you made this offseason, and how are you excited to implement them here in fall?
Yeah, I think a lot of this offseason was me getting together with the receivers. You know, we brought in so many new guys, so, you know, they all have their own little spin to their own routes and how they see things on the field. So to get on the same page, that was something that was brought to my attention I needed to do during the offseason. So I thought we came out here and, you know, we're able to showcase that.
How often did you guys get together, just with you and the receivers?
Yeah, you know, there would be days where we had a harder workout, so I'd let them be stationary, just more tracking, more things like that. And the days we did less running, we got more into routes, we got more into putting out coverages in our head. The other receivers would be out there being defenders, and, you know, we would just try to implement the field how it would look on the field. So yeah, that's kind of how we went about it.
How much of the offseason are you watching film with you and Bird and the coaches?
Yeah, offseason, it's a little bit. You know, it'll ramp up when, you know, we get closer to the weeks of looking at our opponents. You know, I feel like we watched a lot of film during spring. You know, we watch it out by ourselves. We watch it with the coach when he comes in. So there's a lot that we've already learned from the spring. So summer is just a time to literally work on the body. It's time to you have that time set aside from film to get your body right. And so this is when film digs into that process.
How much do you have to just kind of mentally reset in terms of not worrying about the football, just kind of giving yourself a break so that this doesn't become a chore in some respects? Does that make sense?
You know, I love football. You know, at the end of the day, everyone out here, you know, we love football. We all signed up for this. I've never heard of an easy fall camp, so, you know, we kind of know what to expect when we're here. And, you know, we just go about it where you love each other. We're such a bonded team that, like, being out here is fun. It's not taxing. It doesn't feel like we're being forced to be dragged out here. Everyone in this building knows that we got big plans ahead. We just talked about it yesterday, how we want to win a Big 12 championship. So just with that thought process, yeah, we got to do it every day.
What's it like sharing the quarterback room with Bird and having somebody like him in the offense?
Man, Bird is great, honestly. You know, I think the biggest thing I take away, obviously we're best friends outside of this, but especially during football, he's a very talented player. So, you know, I go out there, I do 4 plays, I think I did good, then Bird goes out there, he throws a touchdown. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to answer back. And then, you know, we just keep elevating each other where, you know, eventually when he takes over, he's going to be that guy. And, you know, he's also pushing me to be the guy right now. So it's very mutual always around.
How are you feeling about this receiver room going into fall?
Man, very exciting. If you can tell, I think every receiver probably caught the ball today just because of we have so many weapons, you know what I mean? We have so many people that can get open. We can put them in different places. So, you know, it shows on the field that so many receivers caught the ball today, so many different ones. So, yeah, shout out on their part.
Coach McGivern talked about offensive balance being about spreading the ball around 2 players rather than just 50% pass, 50% run. How have you sort of embraced that mindset of getting everybody involved as best you can?
Yeah, you know, I think that's the best way for an offense to roll. Be what the defense is giving us. If the defense wants us to pass the ball more, we'll do that. If the defense wants us to run the ball, we'll do that. And that's just kind of where our offense comes from. We take advantage of what the defense gives us. And, you know, McGivern trusts me so much with the offense. He gives me the ability to, you know, go get into a different play, get into things that we run very well. So just to have that aspect, it makes me very confident going into any game that we have the game plan to, you know, do what it takes to win.
Speaking of confidence, do you walk a little bit different now that you've been around here? You're kind of feeling good in the red. I mean, just take me through being under center as QB1.
Yeah, I think, you know, one coming back to Utah after, you know, everything that went on, and just being so welcoming for one, you know, my coaches meeting me in the airport. Just starting from there, you know, that builds a lot of respect to me and a lot of loyalty. So, yeah, you know, I do see my teammates looking at me when things get bad and also when things are well. So I prefer to stay at the top of my levels, make sure I'm the same guy, very consistent every single time. And, you know, that's just how I embrace my role.
There you go. That is Devin Dampier, the quarterback, talking about some of the free reign that he has in this offense. But he's excited to be back. You can hear it in his voice. We saw the video, of course. You can see it on the video, but you can hear. And he's just he's a happy-go-lucky guy. I mean, he's a very energetic guy, great leader. Can't wait to see what Spider-Man does.
Always smiling ear to ear, man. I think that's great for your quarterback.
There you go. Let's take a quick break, Alex, and then coming up next on the other side, we have talked about a lot of the change on the offense. Let's hear from the new offensive coordinator, Kevin McGibbon. We'll do that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Here we go again.
Should BYU and Notre Dame be playing football every single year? An annual matchup.
Yeah, if they have this opportunity, build something new and see if it sticks. So if you have a chance to get Notre Dame, sign on.
I would assume that Brett Yormark would be in Santiago's ears and do it. How can I help you do it? It's just going to elevate the league's profile.
I don't think we appreciate the level of improvement and status BYU football program is right now. This is a team that has won double digits here 2 years in a row at the Power 4 level. It's something that has never been done. And you can argue that this is the best that the program's ever been.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK and John from J. Brooks Jewelers. Do you want a ring that no one else in the world has? Here's something you need to know.
That's right, DJ. At J. Brooks Jewelers, we're a full custom jewelry house, which means that we design and create your piece start to finish right here in Utah. From the first idea you may have seen online to the very final polish, everything is done in-house by our expert team of artisans. So when you work with our custom stylists and our highly skilled artisans, there's no mass production and no middlemen, just true craftsmanship and collaboration. We'll sit down with you and talk through your vision, show you design concepts, and bring your dream piece to life with precision and care. So whether it's an engagement ring, anniversary gift, or heirloom redesign, we love creating something that tells your story. So if you can imagine it, we can make it. So come see us today at J. Brooks Jewelers in Murray or Lehigh and begin your custom journey today. J. Brooks Jewelers, your locally owned family jeweler.
As a pedestrian, it can feel like getting home safely is the final boss. Now, here's how to max your stats and take 0 damage. Here's the strat. Try this killer combo move right here. Cross with your phone light and make eye contact with drivers before you go. Upgrade your visibility. Make sure you always use the crosswalk and wear reflective gear. Save stealth mode for video games. Stand out, stay seen, and stay safe. A message from the Utah Department of Public Safety. They're looking out for you.
This is Wick with Greenify Energy Savers. If your home feels like it's overheating the moment the sun comes up, your windows could be a major reason why. In the summer months, inefficient windows let in heat and force your AC to work overtime, driving up your energy bills and making your home less comfortable. The problem is, most homeowners know they need new windows, but put it off because they assume it's going to be too expensive. At Greenify Energy Savers, we install high-performance AMSCO energy-efficient windows manufactured right here in Salt Lake City. So install times are typically just a few weeks, not several months. And most homeowners are surprised to learn that we can often save them thousands of dollars compared to other window companies while still offering premium windows with a lifetime warranty and flexible finance options. Don't spend another summer fighting the heat inside your home. Give Greenify Energy Savers a call today for a free no-obligation quote at 801-948-4464. Again, that's 801-948-4464. Or check us out online at greenifyenergysavers.com. Let us save you literally thousands of dollars and greenify your windows today.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win tickets to Motley Crue with Tesla and Extreme at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater September 21st. Get tickets at livenation.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Craving something sweet? We do ice cream right. Come in and try one of our shakes, freezes, or an ice cream cone, and you'll see why we say JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
James was diagnosed at 3 months old with neuroblastoma. We went from thinking we had a healthy 3-month-old little boy, all of a sudden he had this super serious cancer. It was heartbreaking. He had chemotherapy until he was just under a year old, and at that point he was in remission.
Went that way for a year and then relapsed February of 2023, and here we are 1 year later finishing up treatment, hopefully.
The research is extremely important. The treatments that they're developing here get shared with all the doctors to help treat children worldwide.
It's contributing something like one more piece of the puzzle to curing this horrible disease. We all want the same thing. We all want our children to live, have long, meaningful lives.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Run in the shadows, damn your love, damn your life.
Welcome into the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, thank you for making us a part of your weekend. Running a bit close on time. I want to hear everything that Kevin McGivern has to say. So real quick, let's jump right into this and then kind of get some reaction afterwards. So here is the new offensive coordinator at the University of Utah, Kevin McGivern, speaking to the media for the first time during fall camp.
Morgan has talked about how you fit your offense to the personnel. As you kind of surveyed this team, what do you feel like the strength of this team is and where you want to design your offense around?
You know, I think always first and foremost, I look at the skill set of the quarterbacks, and so designing things that we feel like Devin can handle, that he can do well. Obviously integrating Bird into that, and what that package looks like for him, and what the volume looks like for him. And so I'm always going to look at those two components first. With the skill guys. A lot of different pieces there, so I think we can kind of mix and match some things, but utilizing two backs and what their different skill sets are, especially with Wayshawn and Daniel Bray, they both bring some different elements and different skill sets where you can utilize them in different ways than just ball carriers. And then trying to look at the versatility of the wide receivers as well. There's, sometimes those guys are just wideouts, but there's guys that that you can put into a little bit different roles sometimes as well with the wideout groups, and still trying to formulate that to its fullest extent, but starting to get a better understanding now.
Coach, Dev shared on Monday that he'll have the ability to kind of change things at the line of scrimmage, pretty simple stuff, but what has he done to earn your trust in doing that, and how do you kind of help develop that in him to make sure he's making the right decisions?
Yeah, just kind of always a slow process with that, just making sure that he has command of the offense, and so as you go throughout spring, you just kind of integrate little things here and there. He's already exhibited, even in the two practices we've had up to this point, much better command of what's going on, and so. He did some things in practice yesterday with some protection checks that were not anything that he did in the spring, and so he directed some things to handle some pressures in defense, and so we're giving him the keys to the car in that element. There's some different things on the perimeter with looks that he sees where he can get himself into the best situation based on the look that he's getting with route concepts and things like that. And so as we go and as he exhibits that command, we kind of put more on his plate in terms of taking control.
Last year, Devin said last year was probably the most banged up he's ever been in his career. I mean, had a multitude of injuries, but now he's fully back healthy. This is kind of a two-part question, so if you need me to rephrase it.
No, it's good.
first, just how has his mentality kind of evolved over through the spring, coming off multiple injuries? And two, knowing how banged up he got last year, have you kind of catered the offense to kind of put him out of harm's way, given, you have a plethora of receivers to go to now? How has that changed at all, if anything?
Yeah, I think my mindset-wise, I haven't really seen much of a shift from spring to now, other than he just looks and he's moving, like he's healthy, but he's attacked all the practices. There hasn't been anything where he's really tried to hold back, or that you could see that he was still pushing through after the surgery in the off season and things like that. We tried to manage that in the spring as much as possible, and that, now being full go, you can definitely see the comfort level just in when he gets out and he's on the perimeter and he opens up, then it looks like a little bit different Dev than it did in the spring. What was the second part? Sorry.
Just given how banged up he was last year, and now that the offense has so many weapons on the perimeter, does that change maybe run heavy versus maybe pass heavy?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say the run pass ratio. That can always change from week to week based on how you're trying to attack an opponent. But I think given the fact that we have weapons out there that we want to feature, then that could shift a little bit of the focus. I think what we tried to focus on in just with his development, knowing what he can do, has pushed him into that realm a little bit more, and then always sensitive to to how many hits the quarterback is going to take, whether it's how we're constructing our protection or what we're doing with him in the run game, and then also knowing how much he just creates on his own. And so, that's something we're going to have to manage. We're going to want to utilize his feet. We're going to want to create numbers in the run game, the advantage that you can have when you involve some quarterback run game. I don't think we want to take that element of the offense away, but in terms of the hits and the types of hits that he's taking, definitely want to manage that.
Over the summer, Devin took the wide receivers down to Arizona with him to train. What have you seen from him as his growth in terms of the leadership, but also just what does that do with the connection with him and the receivers and what you're trying to build? And is that something that is common for a quarterback to take it to that level in the offseason?
They're always going to. I think guys are always going to put in work in the off season, going to the extent where you take them down to Arizona and do something like that. Maybe not to that extent, but he is. I think by Coach Scally, myself, with Coach Gunderson, we've tried to push him into that leadership role, and guys are reacting to him, because of the type of player he is, and so he has influence that way. But just using his voice, a little bit more influence, and then creating that connection, creating that chemistry. The chemistry is something that we're trying to build on a day-to-day basis with the team and the offense in its entirety. But he's been more vocal, and you can tell that there has been a connection that is starting to be established, or getting established with the work that they put in the off season, and that manifests itself in practice the last couple of days. Also, there were, like I said before, he has the ability to change some things. And I want them to take ownership of the offense. I want them to kind of put their flavor on it. But he gave the receivers a check that we never talked about. So that was talked about sometime in their offseason training when they were together. And he saw something, and the receivers reacted to the check, and he threw a big play off of it, because of what he saw in attacking the coverage. And so, I just kind of looked over at Gundy and said, I don't know what you're teaching these guys, but that was kind of cool.
From the end of spring to now, where would you say the offense has made the biggest jump?
I just think I think from a cultural standpoint, there's a way we want it to look. There's an effort that they're giving on a down by down basis. That is something that has been established with the defense, prior to this year with Coach Scally, that he wanted to carry over and make it a team mentality in terms of the culture. And so we were really trying to push that. That was really coach driven in the spring, just getting that to show up on a play-by-play basis in terms of the consistency that we want. And so that is showing up way faster than it did in the spring, and so that culture piece of it is carried over. And then, in the first 2 days, two installs, and the first install kind of vanilla, and then we went from 0 to 100 in the second install with all the things that we're doing. But in the spring, that came as kind of a shock to him. Didn't handle it real well. There was, just the level of focus it took to execute that install. Yesterday, it was like clockwork. I mean, the way that they ripped through that thing, and there's always a lot of details, but how clean it looked from an operational standpoint was pretty impressive, the way they carried that over.
Last one, JD.
How do you feel like Bird's development, particularly as a passer, has been going so far this year?
Yeah, really well. We've pushed both him and Dev kind of the same way. In terms of becoming elite decision makers and having elite processing skills and being able to apply concepts to coverage, defensive looks, things like that. And so I would say Bird has made incremental progress, and again, early on in fall camp, that development through the spring is already showing up. And, and I think where, some of the tight windows that you would say, quarterbacks are being a little bit risky, but as long as it's calculated risk, there's been some ball placement in the first couple of practices where you can tell he's much more comfortable ripping that in there because he knows what he's seeing and it's not so reactive.
There you go. That is Utah offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern.
I think, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to get defensively because of the carryover in Colton Swan, similar to the conversations you hear about Kelly Papinga, right? He worked under Jay Hill. He knows what that defense is about. I see a similar thing when it comes to Colton Swan, right? I think and you kind of have that idea of what you're going to get out of that Utah defense. All the questions for me is on the offense. You hear that the schemes are really similar, and there's not too much change from what Jason Beck was doing, but it is still somebody coming in from the outside, right? Somebody who wasn't a part of that of this team last season, and McGivern, I'm sure, has his own a different scheme and different ideas and different things of different thinking of things that he wants to do with Devin Dampier. And so I do have questions and I do have curiosity of where this offense lands. So it is great to hear from Kevin McGivern and kind of get his idea and his takes to where this offense is for Utah.
And, of course, right now we just have the outsider's perspective looking in because we haven't been able to see anything. But from everything we've heard throughout this week, from everything we heard at Big 12 Media Days, you mentioned a lot of similarities as far as the terminology and stuff like that. I think it's going to be more of a philosophical change, right? Not as much about, quote-unquote, protecting the defense. I think they're still going to be able to run the football, but I don't think that is going to be all that they want to do. I am interested to see how much they try and air it out and let Devin Dampier cook.
That's something that I think everybody has their eyes on. And of course, you have to take into consideration the turnover in the offensive line, and how much does that drop off from where it was last season, right? It's never going to be easy to replace that much experience on your offensive line. It's never going to be easy to replace 2 first-round NFL draft picks that were on that offensive line last season. And the guys that played such an important part of what made Utah one of the best rushing teams in the entire country last season. But if you can get anywhere near the semblance of production you saw from Wayshawn Parker last season, even Devin Dampier when he tucked and played hero ball, this Utah run offense, the run game, right, as they call it, I don't expect it to drop off as much as I think nationally people think it will.
No, I'm excited to see. I think it's going to be a much more balanced approach.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be in the top 3 as it was last season, right, in the country. But I do definitely think that this run game for Utah still is amongst the best in the Big 12.
I'm excited to see what this Utah team does because we talk about the expectations placed on BYU. I think the more that people look at this Utah team, even with all of the change, all of the turnover, losing a lot of their best players to Michigan, I think the expectations are almost just as high for the Utes. I think they have the capability to reach the Big 12 championship. So, of course, a lot of football left to be played. But, man, it's looking good for both schools. going into the season.
Absolutely. And I cannot wait. We're almost there, Christian. We're getting
Almost
closer.
there. All right, let's take a break. Coming up next, we will wrap this baby up. It's another edition of the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome to. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
I mean, honestly, this is uncharted territory for Utah. Other than Witt like to change his offensive coordinator every 45 minutes, we have not seen a switch at head coach for Utah, hardly ever. I mean, they are the Pittsburgh Steelers of college football. Kind of had a couple of coaches, and they've all stepped in and been very successful.
I think Morgan probably will try and find the sweet spot in being a little bit more aggressive. If he tries to go full Mike Leach on it, Utah's going to learn some painful lessons. But
there's more room for error than Witt thought.
There is, and I think
in a good way.
And we saw that in the bowl game. Mm-hmm. Deep down, Witt is a soccer coach, and I don't think that Morgan is a soccer coach. And when I say that, I mean like, oh, you've got a 1-goal to none lead. Well, let's sit on that thing. Yep. Let's anchor it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Love that strategy.
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Hey, Doug. What is it that you do? 'Cause everybody's buying a car from you. Hey, Doug.
There's never been a better time to fall in love with Subaru. Now through August 31st, get award-winning vehicles and exceptional offers from a brand you trust during the Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Hey, Doug.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the Utah Royals are back in action in Denver, playing the Summit at 2 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. At 6:35, you can listen to the Salt Lake Bees and the Oklahoma City Comets on 1280 The Zone. And then at 8 o'clock, RSL back in Leagues Cup action. Listen to the game at 8 o'clock on 97.5 The Zone. If you want to introduce your company to the Zone's passionate listeners and reach a lot of potentially brand new customers, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com.
The energy, the roar, moments you'll always remember. Next season, Jaron Jackson Jr. is hunting blocks. Laurie Markkinen is getting buckets. And Ace is just getting started. Don't just watch Jazz basketball. Experience every moment. 2026-27 season tickets are on sale now. Full and half-season packages available. Plus exclusive benefits like arena discounts and player events. Are you in? Join the climb today. UtahJazz.com or call 801-355-DUNK.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like head administrator for a state-of-the-art surgical center.
What can I do for you, Doc?
We need to talk about the lights.
Ah, the mood lighting, relaxing, right? Much better than those old hospital vibes.
A hospital's supposed to have hospital vibes.
You seem tense. Let's dim the lights a bit.
This is the time for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Win big this Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, win tickets to Motley Crue with Tesla and Extreme at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater September 21st. Get tickets at LiveNation.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
Visit Serenoni's Summer Warehouse Sale, Saturday, August 8th, 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. at Bountiful High School. Save up to 70% off luxury blankets, baby gifts, and more. Celebrate 20 years of comfort with Serenoni.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Wrapping up another week on the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. Busy week. We didn't have a ton of time to talk about really everything else that happened this week. Some news that we'll save for next week. NFL preseason has started. We'll talk more about the College Sports Act and what happened with that. Kind of got to save that for next week because this week was so busy with fall camp stuff.
Absolutely, and I think that's the awesome part of the fall camp, and that's the awesome part of getting to this point of the season, getting this to this point of the year. Right, there's so much sound, there's so much media availability, there's so much things that you can hear from the actual teams and the actual players themselves, and so we hope you, the listener, enjoyed listening to, of course, the Keilani Satake, Morgan Scally, everybody that we played today.
And again, if you missed any of it, check us out at kslsports.com/podcast. You can miss any part of the Saturday show or any of the media availability from your favorite team, whether you are a BYU fan, a Utah fan, go check it out because there's always a bunch of good, juicy sound. Here on the station, here's what the schedule looks like for the rest of the day. Coming up at 1:30, it's the Utah Royals pre-match show as they get ready to take on Denver. At Denver, first kick there is at 2. That will be on both signals, 97.5 and 1280. And then coming up in the afternoon, the Bees, 6:20 first pitch. They are going to be at home. And then the RSL pre-match show, that starts at 7. That will take over the 97.5 signal as RSL gets ready to take on Atlante as part of the Leagues Cup. So RSL on 97.5 and Bees on 1280 tonight. That's going to do it for us this week. Thank you to Alex sitting next to me. Thank you to Parker behind the glass. We'll catch you next week. It's the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This stuff is available everywhere. Wherever you are, the KSL Sports Zone will be right there with you. It's the KSL Sports app.
I love it.
Where you can get the latest podcasts, up to the second breaking news, and analysis of the teams you can't live without right from your phone. And wherever in the world you may be, you can have DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben tag along with live streaming of your favorite shows. Download the KSL Sports app and never miss a thing. Presented by University of Utah Health. Health is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
How are Utah schools weighing the benefits and risks of AI?
It levels the playing field for our learners.
But for one student, it gave dangerous advice.
He'd asked the chatbot, what should I do? And AI told him to punch the kid in the face.
With each district writing its own rules, the answers could change from one classroom to to the next.
We need to put into place as many guardrails and protocols as we can.
Teaching with Tech, AI in Class, Monday at 10 on KSL 5.
Hey, this is Aaron with Greenify Energy Savers, and I want to extend the incredible offer exclusively for KSL Sports Zone listeners that I recently introduced live on air with DJ and PK. For a limited time, when you purchase a new solar system for your home or business, Greenify will give you a Tesla Powerwall 3 backup battery free. That's right, you'll receive the battery at no cost. You simply pay for the installation. Already have solar but don't have a backup battery? Give us a call. We're also offering unbeatable pricing on battery add-on installations. And here's even more good news. Thanks to the partnerships we've built over the past 14 years in business, we can offer a 25% upfront discount on your entire project. Call us for the details. Every homeowner can qualify. Call Greenify Energy Savers today for your free no-obligation solar and battery quote at 801-948-4464. That's 801-948-4464. Or visit greenifyenergysavers.com to claim your free Tesla Powerwall 3 with your qualifying solar installation. That's greenifyenergysavers.com.
Get hunt ready before you head into the backcountry. Gear up at Mountain Land Truck Outfitters. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment, and you'll get a free $25 Maverick G card. Don't miss his limited time hunting season offer. Visit your nearest Mountain Land Truck Outfitters location or shop today at mtnlndtruck.com. Offer valid through August 31st, 2026 or while supplies last. Purchase $250 or more in rough country recovery equipment to receive one free $25 Maverick gift card. Limit one gift card per customer account while supplies last.
When Utah turns up the heat, turn down dinner stress. Escape to Ruth's Chris for sizzling steaks, cool surroundings, and a dining experience worth savoring. Ruth's Chris, downtown Salt Lake or Hotel Park City. Make reservations at ruthschris.com.
Build your career where the fun never stops. Join the Lagoon Maintenance and Construction team and play a key role in keeping the park running strong. Now hiring ride maintenance technicians and HVAC technicians for full-time, year-round positions. If you enjoy hands-on work, problem solving, and being part of a team that values safety and skill, this is the place for you. Plus, you'll get great benefits and real career growth. Apply today at lagoonpark.com/jobs. Must be 18 years or older to apply.
Listen every morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with Jake and Ben for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
As Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers suffered a quad contusion in practice and is now listed as day-to-day. Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak said Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby violated team rules by fighting yesterday, so they were held out of practice today. Kubiak said both players will participate on Monday. He said, quote, "We have very clear expectations on how we want to practice and how we want to go about our business, and we violated."
Jonas Knox, you heard me. What are you, a parrot? The Prince of Darkness is lighting up your speakers to establish an alibi for the day.
Knox can swing it.
Knox can do a lot of things.
Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Jonas Knox.
You have to say, okay, I'll be part of this world.
You know, you would think they would figure this out. At least somebody at this point would figure it out. We'll get into that for you coming up here in just a couple of moments from now. Jonas Knox, Fox Sports Radio. You can always listen to us on the iHeart Radio app. You can find us on hundreds of affiliates all across the country. We take you live all the way up until 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. If you're listening on the podcast, we appreciate you doing so. This will be a 2-hour extravaganza here on a Saturday as we celebrate the all-time greats in the world of pro football. And so they've got the Hall of Fame ceremony going on right now. Roger Craig being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which, by the way, Roger Craig should have gotten in a long time ago. You can point to the stats or, you know, the individual awards that he got and whatnot. Dude was fantastic, like fantastic. Really, the almost one of the first of his kind to be able to do it out of the backfield as a pass catcher, and then between the tackles as well too. He was awesome. So all these guys are deserving. You've got Larry Fitzgerald getting in. Drew Brees is going to get in. He's going to be the grand finale of this whole thing. Luke Kuechly got in. Like Adam Vinatieri, like all of these guys all deserve to get in. You can't argue with any of the guys that got into the Hall of Fame this year. I mean, you could probably argue if you wanted to for some guys maybe in the past, or hey, does this guy deserve to be first ballot? Like whatever, like listen. Like have that discussion all you want. Complain about the fact that Eli Manning hasn't gotten in. Like do what you got to do. That's fine. Have at it. Enjoy yourselves. Here's one thing that I got a problem with the Hall of Fame. Can somebody get a fan on stage? And I'm not talking about somebody to root on these guys.